Hi, Joe McTurnan, Aopas Director of Coding, Reimbursement, Education, and Programming here. Hopefully, you saw our announcement last week about the publication of a joint corrected coding bulletin by the DMEPDAC and PDAC contractors. In case you did not, it addressed the documentation requirements that must be met to bill for the 51 HCPCS codes that include the phrase prefabricated, includes fitting and adjustment in their descriptors. As stated in the correct coding bulletin, these codes are considered custom fitted, classified by CMS under the OR02 designation. This designation requires prefabricated orthoses to be customized to meet the individual needs of the patient. CMS's definition of customization includes trimming, bending, molding, or other permanent modification that is performed by a certified orthotist or other individual with appropriate training. The correct coding bulletin states that orthoses that meet the general description of these 51 codes but are provided as off-the-shelf items without customization by an appropriate professional must be billed using a miscellaneous HCPCS code such as L2999, L3999, or L1499. Since our announcement, AOPA members have reached out to us for additional clarification. While the bulletin itself is fairly straightforward, it is important to understand it has both positive and negative potential impact. On the positive side, the bulletin reinforces all the hard work that AOPA and its O&P Alliance partners have undertaken to ensure that Medicare beneficiaries continue to receive high quality, clinically appropriate orthotic care provided by healthcare professionals with the proper education, training, and certification and/or licenses to do so. When CMS proposed the creation of designated HCPCS codes to describe off-the-shelf orthoses several years ago, AOPA provided extensive comments, including the insistence that the codes identified in the most recent coding bulletin almost always required the expertise of a proper qualified professional, such as a certified orthotist, to ensure the proper fit and function of the orthosis. The correct coding bulletin acknowledges this fact and states that in the relatively rare instance where an orthosis that is otherwise described by one of the included codes can be effectively delivered with no modification and/or customization, it must be billed using a miscellaneous code. While the correct coding bulletin supports AOPA's long-standing position that most orthoses should be professionally fit by a healthcare professional with appropriate clinical expertise, education, and training, such as a certified orthotist, there is an obvious concern that the correct coding bulletin will lead to increased audits and claim denials when documentation regarding modifications to the orthosis that were made to ensure a proper fit is insufficient or missing from the patient's medical record. This provides another reminder about the importance of documenting not only what you provided, but also why the orthosis was required to be modified, who performed the modifications, and how the modifications achieved a proper fit to best meet the clinical needs of the individual patient. This is the key to confirming the medical need of the services you provide and is a requirement for Medicare reimbursement. AOPA remains concerned that the CMS definition of the term minimal self-adjustment is focused only on the orthosis itself and the specific modifications that were made to customize the fit of the orthosis. AOPA believes that the concept of custom fitting should not only account for physical modifications made to the orthosis, but also to the clinical expertise that is required to determine the style of orthosis that will best meet the medical need of the patient and the proper adjustment of that orthosis to achieve the desired clinical outcome. While the correct coding bulletin does raise some concern about a possible increase in future Medicare audits, the bulletin supports the longstanding AOPA position regarding the need for proper customization and fitting of orthoses by appropriately educated, trained, and certified and/or licensed professionals. That said, AOPA will continue to advocate for your business and the entire O&P profession on this and other important issues that impact your business and, most importantly, your patients. I appreciate your time today and look forward to speaking to you again soon.